Granny's Garden is a choose-your-own-adventure game originally developed and published by Formation for the BBC Micro in 1983. I suppose you could say that this game is considered to be quite the landmark, because, for a lot of us school children back in the 80s, it was probably one of the first experiences with a computer in an education setting. I remember it well, and I'm sure it was probably the catalyst for some of my earliest ever nightmares. Here is the face that haunted 1,000 of those nightmares. Hers is the laugh that chilled the blood of almost every child during the decade that time forgot. There was no running from it. There was no hiding. If you were at school in the 80s, facing her was as close to a rite of passage as figuring out what the older kids were actually doing behind the bike sheds. She was Freddy. She was Jason. She was the blood-soaked murderer in your older siblings' carefully hidden videos. And at some point, your teachers would nervously plug in your school's single BBC microcomputer and make you dance for her amusement. She was the witch. And if this blocky cyan face means nothing to you, know that across England, a generation of gamers is even now crawling back into their skins after seeing it. Oh yes, every time you failed, you were sent right back to the beginning of the game repeatedly. I could have understood that. Okay, maybe next time the game will be different, but the game is exactly the same every time, and requires you to remember what the incorrect choices were each time you retry. Otherwise, you were sent back to the start again. This was obviously intentionally designed to be this way, to teach you logical thinking at an early age, but I remember it being absolutely infuriating as I then have to pass the controls over to whoever was waiting in the queue behind me back at school. Also, the image of the witch alongside the jarring music and the demonic look on her face actually scared the crap out of me. Were my teachers just making us play this game as some sort of psychological control device? Most teachers were completely clueless about computers, and in my school they were generally kept out in the hallway where they wouldn't scare anyone and used for exactly 3 things: writing simple programs in BASIC to make it print willies 1,000 times, primitive word processing, and playing games. The story goes that this evil witch has kidnapped 6 children in the Kingdom of the Mountains, and you have to rescue them. And in a text and graphic adventure style, you have to solve puzzles along the way. All of which are fairly simple to complete now, granted, but when we were kids, we'd be almost shaking with worry that our next selection could be our last. I remember being split into groups, and us each having an hour or 2 at a time to attempt to finish the game, but I don't remember if any of us actually made it to the end or not. You start off in episode 1, where you do basic tasks like guessing which tree in a forest is the magic one. There's a map screen, and you can choose where to visit next from places such as the forest, woodcutter's house, etc. If you go to the wrong place at the wrong time, then the witch will grab you. Brutal. Probably the oddest thing about the game is its bizarrely authoritarian tone. At least that's how it feels to me, although it could well just be my bad memories of Mr. Sumner's classroom. Mr. Sumner was 5'8" of evil wrapped in the stolen skin of a bitter old bastard, but he provided my introduction to this game, and so it's hard to play without thinking of his voice narrating it. Do you want to help the king and queen? No, you protest. That's not very nice, it snaps. Do you want to help the king and queen? And so on. Inside, the witch has set some traps. One of them is fairly obvious, a red broomstick. Do you take it? Silly, 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 the game shouts, summoning the witch to tear off your flesh and make a puppet out of your still quivering bones. Fair enough, red does mean danger after all. Unfortunately, the other traps make much less sense. For instance, there's a snake in the basement. You have a stick and an apple in your inventory. Throw the stick. Oh, you idiot. You blundering ass. The stick was an evil magic wand, the game chortles, like the most punchable kind of dungeon master. Think you can do better in the kitchen? Just try it. There is a huge cooking pot hanging over a very hot fire, the game teases, whistling innocently. I wonder what is in there. Are you going to look in the pot? Well, a pot seems safe enough, right? It may even have a spell in it that I can use later. So yes, Granny's garden, I call your bluff. Yes, I say, I'm going to look in... Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, laughs the game, summoning the witch to curse your family with branded images of your screaming face on their buttocks. It doesn't even explain why. Was the witch in the cooking pot? Was it alarmed? Doesn't matter. You're done. There's nothing spectacular about the game in any way, and it just goes on and on with these dilemma choices. The graphics are basic to say the least, but they were groundbreaking in their day. It was also one of the first games which allowed a password system for loading the second part of the game. So if you do actually get to the checkpoint, then you can progress onto the Kingdom of the Mountains. Anyway, I don't remember if we made it to here or not back then, but it's a lot easier now, and that witch doesn't scare me now. Well, not as much anyway, even though I'm feeling a little bit of PTSD playing it back. If you want to escape for a while back to the magical and innocent days of childhood, then get it fired up on your Commodore 64. If you've never played it before, then maybe the magic will be lost on you. But anyone born around 1980 should remember this game. Just watch out for the witch. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the nostalgia. There's loads of nostalgic memories just waiting to be unearthed on the channel playlists, and more coming daily. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.